There we go. We got a hair. We can make it happen. This is it, folks. I'm a big Monster Rancher boy, and I'm a big boy with big muscles, and we like Monster Rancher here, and that's basically all I play. Why so early today? Because I didn't stream last night, and I can't stream tonight because I work, so, you know, we're making up for it. Summoned by the hair? Welcome. Biffany, we hardly knew you. Yeah, I forgot that was her name. I'm gonna call him Polly. He's looking like a Polly to me. He's a wise guy. So, with Polly, we're gonna be doing pole drills, and we're gonna be doing dodge. And that's basically gonna be it. Hair seems difficult to Nuzlocke? I don't think so. I think it's pretty okay. It's got decent life gains, great speed gains. Like, it's got kind of min-maxed stats for it, really. Yeah, 66% chance with, like, no skill is pretty good. Okay, can I hit my attacks, please? Jesus! What the fuck, dude? There you go. No, it didn't even kill! I hate this. I hate this! What the fuck, man? We had a hair. We bought a zoo. Etna. I loved his videos. Another tiger? Suezo? Rocky Suezo? Interdasting. Big deck Chad is me rocking up the locals with a 200 card deck. So I've talked about it a little bit, but I used to play this game called Hex. And Hex it was a card game, PC only. And it got sued by MTG for basically being MTG. Like, Wizards took them to court and they won. Which sucked for me as someone who would put a couple $100 into the game. And they're like, yeah, we got a shutter. They just shut the game down. I'm like, alright, sick. Glad I bought all those digital cards. But there was a card that was like, if you have, it was basically like if you were playing a regular game of Magic with a commander deck, the card got like +12/+12. It was so much fun to play with. Like, you needed to have, like, I think it was a 90 or 100 card deck and of singles. It wasn't good, but it was funny. Rocky Johnson. Rocky Mariano. Rocky Balboa. Hey, Adrian. I can't do a Sly Stallone. I don't have that much CTE. It's like CTE and being Italian, I think, is, like, the special condition he's got. I've talked about this, like, very briefly in the past. Fred Durst directed a movie called The Fanatic, where there's literally a scene, the father and son are in the car listening to Limp Bizkit, and the father just will not stop talking about how fucking sick Limp Bizkit is. John Travolta's in the movie, and he plays what I will say in the kindest terms is not a flattering representation of the type of character he is trying to be. You're gonna see what I mean in a second. The movie's awful, yes. The movie's not good. Travolta was in a film, but whatever. Like, you're gonna see what I mean. I don't have to say what's going on here. But I think I need to add this, and you're gonna see why in a sec. So,
Moose is in the house. Moose is in the house. Watch out! Watch out! Here's Moosey.
Yeah. I think that is like the most perfect thing for this stream. Oh my god, is it mixed with Golem? Yeah, it's mixed with Golem. Thank you for bringing us back on track. This is Harlequin Baby Suezo. If Here's Moosey doesn't play every time I turn on the camera, I'll feel robbed. I gotta add that, yeah. Indeed. Okay, this guy doesn't like fish either. So I have a couple options here. He's got really good power and intelligence gains. I could go either. But I think power might... I don't know. It's our first monster. We don't need to go too crazy. Even if we do a bit of a mixed attacker, we might be able to make it work. Doesn't have good speed, doesn't have good life. Defense and skill are okay. Power and intelligence are 4. So he's like almost like a Galley. He's like a Jill. What would Fred Durst do? Also partial to making the follow jingle a clip from Moosing and Dragula. Oh, that was fun. If you guys haven't seen that, it's because you're not subbed. So, you know, get into that. Sing the Undertaker theme? Bong. Or do you mean like the American Badass one? It was Rollin', right? Yeah. Taker came out to Rollin'. Well, okay, yes, he when he was like driving the fucking motorcycle, he came out to Rollin'. His theme song is like church bells. That's the Dead Man. Oh no, you'll be loving this shit right here. Arguably the best cover of his song ever, Smooth Criminal. It's like, it's very different. It's funny because like I like cover songs, but so many cover songs try so hard to like match the original, and it's like, why are you doing that, man? This is like awful. You can't do it better. You gotta do it different. Like, I think like maybe the most egregious cover song of all time is 1985 by fucking Bowling for Soup. Because it's a cover of a song that came out like 8 months earlier that sounds exactly identical to it. Like, they didn't change anything about the song. The production, it might have been the same guy producing it. Like, it sounds exactly the same. I think the Jonas Brothers did that too, right? With Year 3000, there was another, they changed one line, yeah. It's not like SR-71's like a fucking, like, an untouchable band that you shouldn't cover. Like, they kind of suck too. But that's the point, right? If you're gonna cover them, you better, like, fix it up a little bit. It's actually crazy, because that was in, like, that was, like, 2001 or something, right? Maybe 2000, so 1985 was 15 years earlier. That's like if we sang a song about 2009. Holy moly. That's when I graduated high school. Holy shit. I was 19 years old. That song's about me now. That's insane. I never thought I was gonna fuck Whitesnake though, so I guess I'm a little bit different than the mom in that song. We all have our own cross to bear though. I was 11 in 2009? Yeah, I would have been 19. What are some other good cover songs? Like, I legitimately like the Alien Ant Farm one. I don't like a lot of the Alien Ant Farm songs, because, you know, that style of nu metal is, like, very hokey. I think Wish is okay, but I also think it might just be me loving the Tony Hawk soundtracks. And, you know, it's on Tony Hawk 3. Miley Cyrus Heart of Glass from Blondie? I haven't heard that. That sounds like it would be fire, though. Poppy did a good cover of All the Things She Said. The fucking tattoo song? Hell yeah. Guilty Pleasure cover songs. Devil Went Down to Georgia by Nickelback. I haven't heard that. And as much shit as Chad Kroeger gets for, like, you know, writing the blandest music of all time, he's got, like, a legitimately good voice. Placebo's Running Up That Hill? Okay, that one's sick. Yeah, the Placebo one is good. Doesn't hurt me. When he says it like so nasally. That era of Placebo is so good. Rather listen to Nickelback than Creed? I don't know. I don't know what the answer to that is. Though I will say, Flat on the Floor is like, you know, that's a good workout song. Flat on the Floor, if you've never heard it, by Nickelback, is like maybe their most aggressive song. And like, it kind of goes. It's not great, but the riff is pretty solid and it's produced well. It's got a really like bizarre, anemic bridge. that was like a staple of like nu metal of the time, and that I guess they were trying to ape, but otherwise it's pretty good. Favorite of all time is probably Jimi Hendrix, All Along the Watchtower. That's such a basic bitch answer. It is, but it is like very, very, very different. This guy's a late bloom, so we have to kind of crank through the baby leeks. I shouldn't even be feeding it mint leaves. Talking about good or bad covers of songs? Good. Is that Silver Suezo? No, it's Rocky Suezo. Rocky Eye. Named the Peachtree Bug Nickelback and entered him into some specialist tournaments? Hell yeah. Amount of times I spun Human Clay and Silver Side Up in my CD player. Human Clay, like, I never had it. But it gives you a muddy gel, which is crazy. Like, they did that shit on purpose. On theme, yeah. Okay, he's failing a lot. He's got a lot of fear, though, so it's kind of surprising to me. You liked Van Halen's cover of Pretty Woman? I can't think... There's not many songs that I think in the canon of music are worse than Pretty Woman. I'm sorry, Roy. But I don't know what you were doing. Great singer. Fantastic vocalist. What the fuck were you doing? Pretty Woman. Do do do. Like, man was writing the theme song to Dr. Mario. I think I'm just realizing now that Pretty Woman and Dr. Mario's themes are like very similar. I made that joke as if it was a thing that was already in my brain, but that was like, I had never put that two together until now. Is there an overall best monster you can... Yeah, it's it's Metal Nerd. Metal Nerd is the best. Faith No More easy. Metal Nerd is like not the easiest monster to beat the game with by a long shot, and also you can't get him at the beginning of the game, so that puts a damper on that, but he's easily the best monster in the game. You just need to know a little bit more about how the game works to get him to function. No Scrubs by Bastille? I've never heard that. That sounds insane. And then, you know, you have like Me First and the Gimme Gimmes who've like knocked it out of the park a million times. Country Roads is like impeccable. A lot of them are good. I believe I Can Fly is pretty okay too, but Country Roads is like the one. Just looked at Metal Nerd and Blue Kato? No problem. Yeah, Blue Kato is like the ease of use. Basically, all you do is you raise its intelligence and speed, and you get the Twister Claw tech, and then the game's over. You like the Disturbed cover of Sound of Silence? I'm not gonna judge. I asked for people to talk about the stuff they like, so I'm not gonna say anything. That one's on me. I have to learn to bite my tongue. Carpenter Brute's cover of Maniac goes really hard. Yeah, that's maybe the most aggressive electronic song I've ever heard in my life. I don't know how they make it sound like that, man. Like, that track is insane. I was big into ska as a kid, and I still think some of Real Big Fish's covers are good. Take Me On, Hungry Like the Wolf. I think the Take On Me one is, like, not great because they don't hit the high notes. Like, they change the fucking melody of the chorus because I can't hit the notes. It's funny, at least. If nothing else. UB40's cover Red Red Wine? I didn't know that was a cover. That's like their biggest song, right? Dude, that's like... That's some being cursed shit. That's like the Ataris, right? Where the Ataris' two biggest songs are both covers. They got Boys of Summer and I Remember You. Listen to the sound of pouring rain. When we'll whisper and I'll think of you. Does Weird Al count? No. Weird Al does have some good songs though. You know what's funny? As far as like the late 90s like ska, like fourth wave shit goes, Horoscope for Today is like one of the best songs to come out of the genre. It's not a cover, it's an original, but that shit's killer. It was Neil Diamond's song first, really? I didn't know that. Horoscope for Today is a fun karaoke song, but people need to know it or else it's like real awkward. Oh, I haven't tried the bridge in a while, but there was a while where I was doing karaoke like once every 3 months or so, and I could nail it like every single time. The trick is to not take too deep of a breath before you try it. It's no hardware store. That shit's like actually impossible. But... Oh, okay, can I do? I'm gonna do the horoscope for today, but I just gotta think about it for a sec. Now you may find it inconceivable or at the very least a bit unlikely that the relative position of the planets and the stars could have a special deep significance or meaning that exclusively applies to only you, but let me give you my assurance that these forecasts and predictions are all based on solid scientific documented evidence, and you would have to be some kind of moron not to realize that every single one of them is absolutely true. Where was I? There you go. It's not too bad. Thank you. Thank you for the single clap. I appreciate it. We're at 856. 50 more points I can put in? I need to raise my life. 130 life is like not great for where I'm at.
I want to play video games.
Hey,
Don't get KO'd is good advice, it's true. I can go 250 power. Put the rest of the points into life because I don't have any defensive stats right now. 90 defense and 42 speed. Holy shit. So this Suezo can do the thing? I hope so too. Nuzlocke in a little bit as well. Once you beat E-Official, you can't enter casual E-Rank tournaments for money, right? Yeah. That is correct. 134 life, like I said, is not great. It puts me at like number 4 in the tournaments, behind Oakleyman, Hairkicks, and Junimo though, by a pretty big margin. That's usually where you're sitting if you're not focusing on life. Like, because Lontar's got, what, 105? That's pretty easy to beat him. I've killed like 80 weeks of this monster's lifespan. And he is 11 months old. So basically a full year for the first match. Okay. Or I can go over by 1, that's fine too. Mew deserves better, barely see Mew trainers. Mew's a pretty common competitive pick. Mew's a really good monster in competitive play. Alright, here we go. But in the actual game, yeah, there's like the 1. There's the 1 in rank C. And then there's 1 in the Ima versus Fimba meet, and that's literally it. There's a couple of wild ones. Okay. Decent stats. 58 loyalty. Get got, Leon. Holy moly. Did you hear the did I beat the Nuz with Pixie or were people trolling me? No, I did not. We got KO'd by Leon in our first tournament. We lost our first fight and then we got KO'd in the second. It went like almost literally as bad as it possibly could have. Alright, mixed attacker, doing pretty good for now. The problem is that's going to fall off super hard once, you know, I need my defensive stats to be able to do anything. Alright, Oakleyman. I'll take that. 40 damage on the tail assaults is pretty solid. Okay, we got a big guts lead. We can make something happen as long as we can hit. Uno mas, no straight, please. Yeah, we're good. Oh, he ran away at the last second? Hell yeah. But he undefeated anything? Yeah. Pixie offer mono such rough starts that are all possible. On a fresh file, yeah. When you have no money and you can't control the match, it's tough. I have a video of me beating the game with Pixie as my first monster. But it, you know, I actually controlled. Well, alright. Ranky, about as easy as it always was. Say that like we didn't have two monsters back to back that struggled with it, but... So what do I get first? I think teleport, obviously. We go get the hit text. 200 intelligence is probably okay. I probably don't need much more. I can focus on power. Spit will be fine where it is for a while. I don't really need to get more intelligence for a little while. Maybe rank B, we give it a little bit more intelligence. The problem about having a power gain this good is that it means I'm going to end up kind of like getting way too much power and not enough life if I do pole drills. Are there low lifespans besides Sweki? Well, I mean, there's monsters with low lifespans like Naga and Monol. They have 250 weeks of lifespan in this game, so doing an absolute best you can do, they live for like 5 years. There's a special area that has 96 weeks life, yeah. I beat the game with that one. I have a video on that. Lots of paradoxes and peaches, but respect. You say that like you could do it without it. Like, how dare I use the mechanics the game lets me use? It's not cheating, they're like all in the game. Like, if you could do it without, I would like legitimately love to see that video. Because I don't think you can do it. I might be able to do it, but I don't think you can do it. 90% of chat. It's just surprising he's on such a short-lived monster. I think it's you have to. I don't think you have any other choice. I don't think it'll work otherwise. You got Vegeta's Widow's Peak? I don't. I have here, my hair, it's like an asymmetrical Widow's Peak. It's pretty... It goes up a little bit on this side. It's not crazy, but like it goes up a little bit. And then this side is like pretty flat. So I really only have the Widow's Peak happening on one side, and it's not crazy. But my dad always used to be like, I'm bald, you're gonna go bald. I've never known my dad at a time where he wasn't balding. My parents had me pretty late in life, they were like 32. And, yeah, my dad was already like balding by then. And I'm 34 now, as of like 3 weeks ago, and, you know, my hair's in pretty good shape. Maybe a little bit thinning on the top, but I feel like that's another good 20 years before it goes away. Was my mom's grandpa bald? My mom's grandpa? I don't know. Do you mean my grandpa on my mom's side? I think he had hair, but he also passed away before I met him. Alright, well, speed going up to like 100 would be nice at least. I can't... Okay, I'm actually resetting here because I'm over the cap if I do that. I literally can't do it because it would be against the rules. Completely understandable. Been on Monster Rancher 2 Frenzy for breeding competitive mods, not knowing big events beforehand. It just has me making random weight classes and being generally prepared. Yeah, I haven't held anything in a while. This is what happens when you hold so many tournaments back to back, like you get burnt out on it. Now I do because of that. Is it true that Heart Gold and Soul Silver were the perfect games in the franchise? Asking as an absolute outsider to Pokemon in general. Normies will tell you yes, but people born before the year 2000 will tell you that Gen 2 proper, and not the remakes, is significantly more like put together in a sense that like the graphics for the era and like the aesthetics of the game and how it plays is all like significantly more cohesive. People like to pretend it's not, but you know. I don't trust people who like Pokemon because 90% of the games are complete ass. None of the Pokemon games are perfect. For the time, Pokemon Gold and Silver were like as close to a perfect video game as you could come up with. If you weren't there, you don't know. It's okay. It's okay if you don't know, but I'm just saying. The air around Gen 2, when Gen 2 was new, was like, this is the greatest game of all time. Nothing will ever top this. They had a couple more years to deal with like how to code for Game Boy. You know, they had Miyamoto or whoever it was who went in and fixed up all of Game Freak's spaghetti code to make the game way more efficient and basically pack 2 games into one. It's got weird pacing issues where, like, because the Elite Four is not the end of the game, it's like really low stats. The most perfect Pokemon game is Explorers in the Sky. The most perfect Pokemon game is the game that came out when you were 10. Which for me was Gold and Silver. You know, I'm not immune to it. But even looking back on it, like, they never really hit that same level of, like, personality in the sprites. Sprites in 1 have personality in the same way that, like, your weird uncle has personality. Gen 2 was like, they perfected what stuff could look like on the Game Boy. The dithering in the sprite work was like really sick, like everything looked great. Gen 3 took those exact same sprites and just kind of like recolored them and upscaled them, and they not look good because of it. I think Gen 3 is really ugly looking, actually. And then Gen 4 was, you know, better than 3 at least. And then Gen 5, I don't really like the moving sprites at all. Iwata fixed the game. Oh, it was Iwata, yeah. Miyamoto, I don't know. It was one of them. They fixed that shit. Gold and Silver felt like this is the final game, let's go with a bang kind of game. Yeah. It was like an everyone is here. It was Smash Bros. Style. Like Gen 4 the most, but only because of how snowy it is. There were some obvious like issues in retrospect with Gen 2 still, right? Like you had things like the physical special split didn't exist yet, which is an obvious issue. People like, I've seen people who are like revisionist history folks about how Gen 2 or like those physical special split ruined the game and this and that, and it's like, you're actually insane. Like those people who are making videos about how Sonic Forces was like the better game out of it in Generations, when it's like nobody who wasn't a diehard Sonic fan looking for reasons to not hate the game they were playing liked Forces. It's like, you're being contrarian, it's fine. It's like, whatever, but just like own up to it. Once Pokemon became rounded and cute instead of Pidgey just being bird sprite, it lost the magic for me. Gen 1 sprites are like really interesting, but like not necessarily in a like this is good way, but like it is interesting. No! Okay, I lived. Alright, we're in there. Hello from Indonesia. Hello from Canada. Gen 1 designs are so round. So the thing with Gen 1 is that they did not have artwork to build the sprites off of. The sprites came before the official artwork did. There was basically ideas. It was like, this is what coughing looks like, and someone was like, alright, and they drew it. And that's why like the skull and crossbones is on their forehead instead of the belly. Is then Sugimori came in and was like, I'm gonna refine all these. Novelty aside, Gen 2 had way better sprites because it was the Game Boy Advance, not Game Boy Color. No, it was Game Boy Color. What are you talking about? My problem with Gold Silver is you still use mainly Kanto Pokemon. Your starter and Mareep before the Elite Four. You can get Quillfish. Not much else matters because you can get Quillfish early.